Okay, now I have the rug in place and I'm going to create a shadow over the rug. And the shadow in this case is going to be right over top of the rug. Um, and so I really want to create a new layer so that I don't, any shadow that I put over top of that rug, if it's on the same layer, it's a done deal. So I want to have flexibility. So I am going to go up to the hamburger and create a new layer. I'm going to call it shadow. Okay, you can see I labeled bench and rug. If I want to create a new layer, I can also use this plus here to create a new layer, and I can take a layer and drop it into the garbage can as well. So now I'll just close that so you can see the shadow is up here, and I've got the rug as a hidden layer right here. So this shadow, you can see where I want to put that shadow. So I am going to select this gray. So notice that gray is over there. And then I am going to use the lasso tool again. I am going to select from here to here to here to here to here. Now I've selected an area that's bigger than my rug, which is fine, but I used that shadow as my guideline. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to fill. Actually, before that, I'm going to put my rug back on so I have visual here. I'm going to go up and I'm going to say fill and, and edit, fill, and then it gives me the option of foreground color, background, black, grays, white. So I'm going to go with that foreground color and I am going to make it 70%. I'm going to say okay. Okay, so that looks too dark, doesn't it? You can't see some of the tones in there. So I am going to do Command Z, and I am going to go up to fill again. And this time I'm going to make it 30%. And let's see what that looks like. That looks pretty good. Now, if I say okay, and then I decide, no, I'm going to put some more in later, what can happen is you can start to play with the, mess up the transparency that you're seeing here. So you want to try to get the decision made correctly the first time. Okay, so I'm going to say, okay. Now it looks pretty odd. Oops, every time I click on this, you have to bring it back to the end point and then you can click back to that square to get rid of it. So you can see I have this schmutz up here that's covering where the shadow really needs to be. So what I'm going to do with the rug showing there, but I'm on the shadow layer, I'm going to go up here and I am going to grab the lasso and I'm going to select around where the rug is not. And so what I've essentially selected here is the overlay of that shadow. And I'm going to delete that. Okay, so now, when I hide the, this is frustrating, isn't it? Okay, get out of that tool as fast as I can. If I hide the shadow, and then if I hide the rug, so you can see I've just got that shadow where that rug is. Okay, so looking at this again, does that look dark enough? I think it does. I think maybe I could have made it a little darker, but I think it's okay. Now, this has a pretty sharp edge where you see over here it's gradual, it's a little bit distorted. So what I can do is I can go back and get the eraser tool. Right now, if you remember, we can play with the thickness of it and we can play with the hardness. So I'm going to make the hardness 0, and I'm going to make the size of it pretty big. So now I have this soft graduated edge there. Let me turn off the rug for a moment so you can see how I'm softening that edge there a bit. Okay, so you can see the difference. It's slight, but each little extra thing you put in can really make a difference. So that's the shadow for the floor and the rug. So let me show you. So there's the regular floor, and then there's the shadow on my rug. So there you have it. So when I was offline, I went back in and I cleaned up this bench. I straightened the perspective a little, so I'm in pretty good shape here. One thing that in another circumstance I might want to do, see the way the light is shining here, so that would also affect the surface of this bench. But this bench naturally has a lighter glow here, and it's darker in the back here, so that actually just by accident looks like the light is hitting it over here. And so there we go. So now what you're going to do is you're going to double check and make sure that you have 3 layers, shadow, rug, and bench, and your background layer. And you are going to go and save as. You have that room file, that's your original just empty room. So you don't want to ride over that. You want to save as a Photoshop file. And again, you are going to name it week 3. Sorry, your last name first. And then week 3, and then we're going to call it room. Okay? And it's a PSD file. And you would save that file, and it's saved as the layers. And we're going to say okay. And so that is the file that you'll be uploading to Blackboard. Good luck.